Dear ladies and gentlemen, imagine a woman standing at the edge of a vast ocean. No hand to hold, no footprints beside her, only her own path stretching endlessly ahead. Society watches her, whispers behind her back, questions her choices. Why is she alone, they ask. Where is her husband? But what if I told you that a woman who walks alone is not lost, not broken, but profoundly powerful? The world has always told women what they should be. From the moment a girl is born, expectations begin to shape her existence. She is taught to be kind, to be gentle, to be accommodating. She is reminded again and again that her happiness will come when she finds someone to walk beside her, someone to protect her, to provide for her, to complete her. But what if she does not find this someone? Or what if she chooses not to seek them at all? The moment a woman decides to walk alone, the whispers begin. Society watches her with curious, questioning eyes. Why is she alone? They ask. Has she failed? Has she been left behind? But she knows the truth. She is not walking alone because she has been abandoned or because she has lost her way. She is walking alone because she has the courage to do so. To walk alone means to trust yourself when no one else does. It means to silence the voices that insist a woman is incomplete without a man beside her. It means to stand tall, not as half of something, but as a whole, unshaken presence. This journey is not always easy. There are moments when the road ahead is uncertain, when the weight of expectations presses heavily upon her shoulders. There are nights when the silence is loud, when doubt creeps in, whispering that perhaps she should have followed the path carved out for her. But even in those moments, she does not turn back. She has come too far to surrender to fear. The world does not always celebrate the woman who chooses to walk alone. They call her stubborn, difficult, rebellious. They tell her she is missing out, that she will regret her choices. But what they fail to see is the fire in her soul, the quiet confidence in her stride, the unwavering strength in her heart. She does not walk alone because she has no other choice. She walks alone because she refuses to be defined by tradition. She walks alone because she knows that her strength does not come from another, but from within herself. And as she moves forward, step by step, she does not ask for permission. She does not seek validation. She simply walks head high, heart open, fearless in the face of a world that does not yet understand the power of a woman who chooses her own path. From the moment a girl takes her first steps, the world starts whispering a story in her ear, a story that tells her she is not enough on her own. She is taught, subtly and sometimes not so subtly, that her journey is incomplete until she finds someone to walk beside her. Fairy tales reinforce this idea with their grand weddings and happily ever afters, where the princess only finds fulfillment once the prince arrives. But let's pause and question this story. If a woman is born whole, why does society insist that she is lacking? If she comes into this world with a mind full of dreams, a heart full of strength, and a soul that seeks growth, why must she wait for someone else to make her complete? This illusion of incompleteness is one of the greatest deceptions ever woven into the fabric of society. It makes women believe that until they are chosen, their worth is uncertain. It convinces them that solitude is a problem, that walking alone is a sign of failure. But is it? A river does not flow in search of approval. A mountain does not need another to justify its existence. And yet, a woman is told that her journey is only meaningful if it aligns with the path society has set for her. She is told that if she stands alone, she is lacking, but the truth is, she is lacking nothing. A woman who walks alone is not incomplete. She is untamed, unburdened by expectations, free to carve her own destiny. She understands that love, companionship, and relationships can be beautiful, but they do not define her essence. She does not seek validation in another person's presence. Her worth does not hinge on the title of wife or partner. She is not a missing piece of a puzzle. She is the entire masterpiece. And yet, this illusion persists. Society asks, when will you settle down, as if her existence is unstable without a partner to ground her? They say, Time is running out, as if her life is on a countdown that only stops when she finds someone to stand beside her. But she does not accept these limitations. She refuses to believe that her clock is ticking, that her purpose is incomplete without marriage, that she must hurry before it's too late. Too late for what? To live on her own terms, to pursue her passions, to embrace her own journey. A woman who understands her own worth does not wait to be chosen. She chooses herself. She does not let the world tell her she is half of something. She knows that even in solitude, she is whole. Even without validation, she is enough. Even without a predefined role, she is a force that cannot be contained. So when society asks, "Why are you alone?" she smiles, not out of arrogance, but out of the quiet confidence that comes from knowing the truth. She was never incomplete to begin with. Chapter 3, Freedom from Expectations. From the time a girl is old enough to understand words, she is given a script, a carefully crafted set of expectations written by a world that believes it knows what is best for her. She is told how to speak, how to behave, how to dress, and most importantly, how to live. She is taught to be soft-spoken yet strong, independent yet obedient, ambitious yet not too ambitious. And above all, she is told that one day she must fulfill the role that has been waiting for her, that of a wife. The weight of these expectations is heavy, though it is rarely acknowledged. It is carried in casual conversations. When will you settle down? In well-meaning advice, it's time to start thinking about your future. In subtle warnings, you don't want to end up alone, do you? But what if a woman refuses to follow the script? What if she does not want to be bound by traditions that do not resonate with her soul? What if she finds more joy in her own path than in the one the world has drawn for her? To choose her own way is to step into uncertainty. It means disappointing people who believe they know what is best for her. It means being questioned, judged, and misunderstood. It means facing moments of self-doubt when the noise of society becomes too loud. But more than anything, it means stepping into a freedom that few dare to claim. A woman who walks alone does not answer to the expectations placed upon her. She does not shape her life to fit a mold that was never meant for her. She understands that true happiness is not found in fulfilling someone else's vision for her future. It is found in living in alignment with her own truth. She is free to wake up each morning and decide what kind of life she wants to create. She does not have to compromise her dreams for the sake of a role she never asked for. She does not have to mold herself into what society deems acceptable just to earn approval. This freedom is not always easy. There will be moments when she wonders if it would have been simpler to follow the expected path. There will be times when she feels the pressure to conform, to silence her own desires in favor of what is familiar and accepted. But she knows that true liberation comes at a cost. It requires the courage to walk away from what does not serve her. It demands the strength to stand alone in a world that insists she should not. But in this freedom, she discovers something precious. She is not just surviving, she is thriving. She is not just existing, she is living fully on her own terms. She is no longer bound by the invisible chains of expectation. She is no longer waiting for approval. She is walking her own path, and with every step, she is reclaiming her power. There is a fear that lurks in the hearts of many, the fear of being alone. It is a fear that has been carefully planted, nurtured by generations of beliefs that tell us solitude is something to be avoided. A woman, especially, is made to believe that being alone is a condition she must escape from, a temporary state that must be fixed by finding someone to stand beside her. But what if solitude is not a curse, but a gift? What if being alone is not a sign of weakness, but a source of unshakable strength? A woman who walks alone knows this truth. She understands that solitude is not emptiness, it is space, space to think, to grow, to become. In the quiet of her own company, she listens to the voice within her, the voice that is so often drowned out by the expectations of the world. She does not need noise to distract her, nor does she need constant companionship to validate her existence. Solitude is where she meets herself fully. It is where she learns the depth of her own mind, the resilience of her spirit, and the capacity of her heart. When the world is silent and there is no one to impress, no one to perform for, she discovers who she truly is. And in that discovery, she finds strength, an unbreakable, untouchable strength that no external force can take away. Many fear loneliness because they have never learned to be at peace with themselves. They seek others not out of love, but out of a need to escape their own thoughts. But a woman who walks alone has made peace with herself. She does not run from solitude, she embraces it. She does not seek another person to complete her. She knows she is already whole. She has learned that strength is not found in numbers, nor in the presence of a partner. Strength is found in the ability to stand alone and still be unshaken. She does not fear the empty seat beside her at a dinner table, nor does she feel the need to explain why she walks this path without a companion. She knows that her worth is not measured by the company she keeps, but by the depth of her own being. This strength in solitude is what makes her unbreakable. It is what allows her to navigate life with confidence, to face challenges without waiting for someone else to save her. She does not wait for another to hold her hand through difficulty. She holds her own. She does not depend on another for happiness. She creates her own. And so when the world looks at her with pity, assuming she must be longing for someone to share her life with, she smiles, not out of arrogance, but out of understanding, because she knows what they do not. Solitude is not a weakness, and being alone does not mean being lonely. It means being powerful in a way that few ever truly understand. Success, a word that carries the weight of expectation, shaped by centuries of tradition and societal norms. For a woman, success has long been defined in narrow terms: marriage, family, and the ability to care for others before herself. From childhood, she is taught that her greatest achievement is not in the dreams she chases or the independence she carves out for herself, but in finding a partner and building a home. But what if success is not what we have been told? What if success is not about fitting into a predefined role, but about creating a life that aligns with her truth? A woman who walks alone redefines what it means to succeed. She does not measure her worth by the ring on her finger or the number of children she raises. She does not believe that a life without marriage is a life unfulfilled. She knows that success is deeply personal, that it is not something the world can define for her. For some, success might mean building a thriving career, leading a movement, or traveling the world. For others, it might mean mastering a skill, pursuing a passion, or simply waking up every day feeling at peace with who they are. A woman who walks alone understands that success is not one size fits all. It is not a destination society dictates, but a journey she chooses for herself. She does not live for external validation. She does not seek approval in the eyes of those who believe she should be doing more or doing something different. She does not let outdated ideals dictate what she should want. Instead, she sets her own standards. She decides what fulfillment looks like, what happiness feels like, and what achievement means to her. This is not always easy. There will be voices, sometimes from loved ones, sometimes from strangers, telling her she is making a mistake, that she will regret her choices, that she should hurry and settle down before time runs out. But she knows better. She knows that the only time running out is the time wasted living a life that is not truly hers. A woman who walks alone does not live in comparison. She does not measure her success against that of her peers, nor does she feel pressured to follow a timeline that does not align with her soul. She understands that true success is not about keeping up. It is about creating something meaningful. Some may look at her life and see an empty space where a husband or a traditional family should be, but she does not see emptiness. She sees possibilities. She sees freedom. She sees the ability to build, to explore, to grow without constraint. She sees a life that is hers to shape, unrestricted by expectations that do not belong to her. Her success is not in finding someone to walk with. It is in knowing she can walk alone. It is in the way she holds her head high, in the peace that radiates from her being, in the confidence of knowing she does not need anyone else to validate her journey. And so while the world may continue to define success in ways that do not fit her path, she does not waver. She does not explain herself. She does not ask for permission. She simply lives fully, freely, and without apology. There is a quiet power in a woman who does not wait to be saved. A woman who knows that she is capable of standing on her own, solving her own problems, and shaping her own destiny is a woman who is truly free. Yet, the world often tells her otherwise. She is told that she needs a provider, a protector, someone to guide her through life's uncertainties. But what if she refuses to believe this? What if she decides that she is enough? Self-reliance is not about rejecting help or companionship. It is about knowing that whether or not help arrives, she will find a way. It is about understanding that she is not fragile, not helpless, not in need of rescue. She does not sit and wait for life to happen to her. She makes life happen. She does not depend on someone else to take care of her needs, to make decisions for her, to lift her up when she stumbles. Instead, she builds the strength to stand back up on her own. A woman who walks alone learns the art of self-reliance through experience. She faces obstacles without looking around for someone to solve them for her. She makes difficult choices knowing that she alone must live with their consequences. She learns skills that others might assume she should leave to someone else: fixing things, managing finances, protecting herself, navigating the world independently. It is not that she does not appreciate support when it comes, it is that she is not dependent on it. She does not see a man as her savior, nor does she see marriage as her ultimate safety net. She understands that true security comes from within, not from a relationship, not from society's approval, but from her own ability to stand firm in the face of life's storms. Some may look at her and assume she must be struggling, that she must be burdened by responsibilities she should not have to bear alone, but she does not see it that way. She sees strength where others see struggle. She sees freedom where others see loneliness. She sees capability where others see lack. This self-reliance does not mean she is invulnerable. She has her moments of doubt, of exhaustion, of wishing for a helping hand. But the difference is she does not let those moments define her. She does not let temporary difficulties shake the foundation of who she is. She knows that every challenge she faces alone only makes her stronger, more prepared, more resilient. She does not live in fear of being alone because she has proven to herself time and time again that she can handle life on her own. She is not waiting for someone to complete her. She is already complete. She is not waiting for someone to provide for her. She knows how to provide for herself. And so while others may see a woman walking alone and assume she is missing something, she knows the truth. She is not missing anything. She has herself, and that she has learned is enough. Love, the most beautiful and powerful force known to humanity. From the beginning of time, love has been the subject of poetry, music, and endless storytelling. It is painted as the ultimate destination, the highest achievement, the missing piece that makes a life complete. But for a woman who walks alone, love is not something she seeks from a place of need. It is something she welcomes from a place of wholeness. She has been told many times that love is the answer, but no one asks her the real question. What if she already has love within her? Society assumes that because she walks alone, she must be waiting, longing, searching for someone to complete her. But she is not waiting for love to arrive. She has already found it in herself. A woman who walks alone understands that love is not about clinging, possessing, or depending. It is not about losing oneself in another, nor is it about sacrificing one's identity for the sake of companionship. Love for her is not a desperate search for completion, but a natural extension of the fullness she already possesses. Many fear being alone because they have never learned how to love themselves. They believe that love must come from another, that they must be chosen in order to feel valuable. But she knows that self-love is not a substitute for romantic love. It is the foundation of all love. If she does not love herself first, she will always look to others to fill a void that only she can fill. This does not mean she rejects love. She does not close her heart or build walls around it. She does not walk through life avoiding connection or denying the beauty of deep relationships, but she approaches love differently. She does not see it as a necessity. She sees it as a choice. If love enters her life, it must be a love that honors her strength, not one that tries to tame it. It must be a love that respects her solitude, not one that tries to erase it. She does not seek someone to carry her, to define her, to complete her. She seeks a love that adds to her life without taking away from who she is. She does not fear being alone because she understands that love is not just about romance, it is in every moment of life. Love is in the way she nurtures herself, in the friendships that uplift her, in the passions that set her soul on fire. Love is in the way she looks at the world, the way she walks through life with purpose, the way she embraces every experience with an open heart. So when the world asks her, "Why are you still alone?" she does not feel sad, nor does she feel pressured. She simply smiles, knowing that she is not lacking love, she is overflowing with it. She has found love in herself, and that is why, if love ever comes knocking, it will be welcomed not as a necessity, but as a beautiful choice. A woman who walks alone is never truly alone. She is always accompanied by the weight of society's judgment. From the moment she chooses a path different from the one expected of her, she becomes a subject of scrutiny. People question her choices, assume she must be unhappy, or even pity her as if she has been denied something essential. But judgment is nothing new. Women have always been judged, not just for walking alone, but for speaking too loudly, for dreaming too big, for choosing themselves over tradition. The world has long been uncomfortable with women who refuse to conform, who challenge the status quo, who dare to say, "I will not live by your rules." She has heard the words whispered behind her back. Why is she still alone? What is wrong with her? Does she not want a family? Will she regret this later? They do not ask these questions out of concern. They ask them because they cannot understand. They have been conditioned to believe that a woman's purpose is tied to others, that her value is measured by her relationships, not by her existence alone. But she does not live for their approval. She does not explain herself, nor does she shrink to make others comfortable. She does not allow judgment to dictate her choices, for she knows that those who judge her are simply repeating the beliefs they were taught. She also knows that judgment is often rooted in fear, the fear of what they do not understand, the fear that if a woman can be happy on her own, then everything they were told about fulfillment and success may not be entirely true. If she can walk alone with confidence, then perhaps they too could have chosen a different path. And that thought unsettles them. There was a time when judgment affected her, when she questioned herself, when she wondered if she was making a mistake. But she has outgrown that doubt. She has learned that people will always have opinions, whether she follows tradition or forges her own way. So why should she live a life dictated by their expectations when it is her life to live? She no longer asks for permission. She no longer seeks validation. She does not need the world to agree with her choices in order for them to be right. She trusts herself. She listens to her own voice, not the noise of society. A woman who walks alone does not break under judgment. She rises above it. She does not allow it to shape her path, for she knows that every great change, every revolution, every step toward true freedom has always begun with those who were brave enough to be different. And so when they question her, when they judge her, when they try to make her feel small, she does not react. She does not argue. She simply walks forward, unbothered, unafraid, and undeniably free. Chapter 9, The Silent Revolution. A woman who walks alone does not always shout her defiance. She does not always raise her voice to declare her independence. Sometimes, her very existence, her confidence, her choice to live by her own terms, is enough to challenge everything society has been taught. She does not need to wage war against tradition with words. Her life itself becomes a silent revolution. The world expects a woman to follow a script, to belong to someone, to seek validation, to find security in another. When she does not, she becomes a question mark in the minds of those who cannot understand her. Why does she not conform? Why does she not settle? What is she waiting for? But the truth is, she is not waiting for anything. She is living fully and fearlessly. She does not walk alone because she must, but because she chooses to. She does not reject companionship, but she does not see it as a requirement for happiness. And this choice, though personal, has a ripple effect. It unsettles those who have always believed that a woman needs someone beside her to be complete. It challenges the notion that success, fulfillment, and joy must come in the form of marriage or a relationship. There was a time when women did not have the freedom to make this choice, a time when they had to rely on others for survival, when walking alone was not just frowned upon but forbidden. But times have changed. A woman who walks alone today does so not out of rebellion, but out of the realization that she can. She has stepped beyond the limitations placed on those before her, beyond the expectations that were once considered unbreakable. And yet the resistance remains. Society still looks at her with suspicion, with concern, with judgment, not because she is doing something wrong, but because she is doing something different. Change has always been uncomfortable. Those who break patterns are often met with criticism before they are met with respect. But she does not need approval to continue forward. She knows that every step she takes for herself clears the way for others who will follow. Her silent revolution is not just for her, it is for every girl who has been told she must follow a path she does not want. It is for every woman who has been made to feel incomplete without a partner. It is for those who have doubted their own strength, who have wondered if they are enough. She is proof that they are. And so, without banners, without protest, without the need to convince anyone, she walks. And in her walking, she changes the world.